thank you very much for coming. I'm Michelle, and like I said before, I'm one half of the core group of Otaku No Podcast. Warning! If you are offended by doll nudity, please leave the room now. There will be some dolly nakedness in this presentation. I know some people are just totally freaked out by that, but you know, it's one of those things. Okay, once you go vinyl, the conversion is final, is one of my little aphorisms about vinyl armature dolls. Most vinyl dolls have an anime aesthetic as opposed to a realist aesthetic. It definitely shows on Dollfie Dreams. For example, Yumiko over here is a Dollfie Dream, and so are these. Thank you, Mr. Postman, for letting me use this.
It's all good.
Yes, and if these dolls take a fall, the doll is likely to survive, which is like a big thing when you consider that resin dolls are kind of fragile, and sometimes they will they will fall down and go boom, and something will break. These, on the other hand, not necessarily. However, nobody's perfect. I will be getting into a lot of stuff about dye transfer. This is a huge issue with vinyl dolls. So staining from other sources. It's like if it comes in contact with paint, or if it comes in contact with some other things. If little Miss, if your kid's sister, little Missy, takes a ballpoint pen and marks on the vinyl, it will stain. Vinyl, unlike resin, is porous. It sucks up dyes and pigments with gusto. I mean, some people actually dye vinyl dolls to get them a certain color, and the dye job takes usually. It doesn't affect the joints, but the vinyl will just suck it up. And another thing is that the internal armature in a vinyl doll is much more complex than a strung doll, so there is more that can go wrong with it. And this is my comment about vinyl. Faceplant, no sweat, stains. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, a little history. This is very, very condensed. Modern Asian dolls have roots in the European porcelain dolls from the Victorian era. The roots of Asian vinyl armature dolls, which is a term I coined and I like using with these dolls, it also extends into fashion dolls. Build Lily, which got copied and called Barbie, is perhaps the most familiar fashion doll. And action figures, the term was invented by for G.I. Joe. I'm sure everyone has seen G.I. Joes.
Yeah, little Joe.
And two Japanese companies began working on high-end vinyl dolls around the first decade of the new century, Volks and Obitsu. Both Volks and Obitsu made 1/6 scale fashion dolls action figures prior to making large scale vinyl dolls. This is an example of the 1/6 scale. This is my heiress. She is an Obitsu. It's a two-piece torso. And anyway, Volks's Dollfie figures began production in 1997. Up until then, Volks was a company making resin garage kit models. Volks put out its first resin Asian ball joint doll, Super Dollfie, in 1999. Dollfie is a contraction of doll and figure and is a trademark of Volks. So, yeah, please respect that. Volks put out their first Dollfie Dream dolls in 2003. The first Dollfie Dreams did not have an armature, but were partially strung and had friction joints in the elbows and the wrists. Were there other friction joints on the
no, just at contact, wrists, elbows, ankles, knees.
Yes, yes.
And
okay.
then it was all strung in the center, all strung in the center.
Right. Around the same time, Obitsu put out large-scale dolls of their own. Theirs had an internal armature, a skeleton, if you will. The strung Volks Dollfie Dream version 1 was retired in favor of the DD2 a year later. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Yes, good, 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 good. Here is Volks Dollfie Dream 2, internal frame, Yumiko, and our other two lovelies. Could you please tell me?
I can do that a little bit if you want me to kind of.
Mr. Postman!
Hey everybody, my name's Terrence Cole. Most people know me as Mr. Postman, and I've been unofficially dubbed by the Volks management as the Dollfie Dream King, or at least the North American Dollfie Dream King. I have 29, 30 of them. I lost count. I do also collect regular resin ball joint dolls. These are two of my girls here. This one here is a Type 3 Dollfie Dream.
Yes, we are going to be talking about that later on.
Recently released. She's a Japan-only release. You probably don't recognize her. She is Sakuya from Toho. Normally wears a maid outfit and carrying lots of sharp knives, but she decided to get in the PMX mood by going J-Bop here. Mari Illustria, she is from Evangelion. She's a Type 2 Dollfie Dream. And the outfit I got off of Yahoo Japan. I don't know if you'll be covering that at all. Yahoo Japan is a Japanese version of eBay. You can't purchase directly from them unless you have a friend or family member in Japan that can do that. So that can be quite expensive.
Yes.
But that's what the two girls here
Yes,
are.
and underneath the skin of our two Dollfie Dream 2s that are here, you see that's their skeleton. That's their internal frame, and it's a marvel of engineering. It really is, and Dollfie Dream 3 is even more so. This is the Obitsu armature. This is a three-part torso doll. Those are kind of outmoded, but this is just such a lovely piece of graphic. You can see that inside here, there's an armature, a skeleton, and that keeps everything together. That keeps your doll posed. That it's wonderful. Okay, Volks was the first of the vinyl dolls, first company to make licensed large-scale vinyl dolls. A Gainax licensed Ayanamire was released not too long after the first Dollfie Dream was released. Obitsu, which also makes doll bodies for other companies like Azone and Yamato, has not put out a licensed doll on their own as far as I know. But Azone does do licensed dolls from time to time. They did a Haruhi, so did Volks. But yeah. However, Azone and Yamato, sometimes they're very hard to get here. He was talking about deputy services and ordering through Yahoo Japan. Azone, Yamato, that's one of the only ways to get them. Licensed dolls are Volks' strong suit. Many of their dolls are based on anime or game characters or both. Obitsu caters primarily to the hobbyist market on its own. They sell their dolls, usually the heads are sold separately from the body, and they don't have the face up yet. The idea is it's part of the hobby to do your own face ups. And I want to encourage that. I want to encourage people to be fearless about this. One of the nice things, especially about Obitsu, is that the heads aren't that expensive. If you foul up maybe you'll have to use that as like your practice head from now on. But, you know, it's like you only are set back $20 maybe at the most for the head. So it's a wonderful way to start doing your own face-ups. Because of the limited runs of Volks's dolls, the cost of licensing characters, limited runs of their dolls, the cost of licensed characters, Volks's licensed dolls are more expensive than their standard character dolls. Yumiko over there is a standard image character type. There are 2 currently. I'm hoping that they do some more of these because they are the Insta Dollfie drape. They're right there. They're done. They don't come with much of a full set, but they do come up with enough clothes to have them be decent, and they come with their own factory face-up, and they do a wonderful job on face-ups at Volks. They don't spare. They don't cheap out on the face-ups for the vinyl dolls, which I think is lovely. The aftermarket for the licensed dolls is brutal. A sought-after doll can go for several times original cost. This is the reason why sometimes people talk about, oh my God, these are incredibly expensive dolls. No, no. They were not incredibly expensive when they were first out. They are somewhat expensive, but not incredibly expensive. Obitsu does bodies for A-Zone, Mama Chap, Yamato. They often go so far as to do custom vinyl pieces for these third parties, even like body custom pieces. And Yamato in particular is known for pushing the envelope a bit. They do these really outrageous dolls that are in very little dress, and the fanboys love them in Japan. Okay, Danny Chu visits the Obitsu factory. Thank you very much, Danny, for letting me use this. Let's see. And I have to say, arigato gozaimasu, Danny Chu. Let me use this. I asked him permission. Okay. Now that since you're here, Liza, I can ask you a question. Does Volks use a similar process for Dollfie Dream?
It's proprietary, but being a chemist, there's only a few ways to make vinyl, and I would say chemically, it's probably going to be a similar procedure.
Yeah, because they showed Obitsu's rotation baker, and you know, they showed the whole process from start to finish, except for they had all the parts done already.
It's the same chemical reaction. They might have slightly different centrifuges. They might have different method to get the air bubbles out. They might have a different heating method, but it's probably something similar.
Yeah, so it would be fair to say that you can generalize a couple of things from the Obitsu story, that there may be some mechanization involved, but putting the dolls together and giving them face-ups still takes a lot of time. And these dolls cost a lot because of the time and trouble in the process. You know, it's like with Volks, the head is, well, I must give props to Volks because they're holding the line on price. If they were going with